So capsule numero dos here. Another good one in the Central, this time 2 and 3. The Winnipeg Jets and Rick Bowness. 52, 24, and 6, 110 points and a plus 60. Very good season for the Jets. But they take on the Colorado Avalanche. That's no prize. 50, 25, and 7, 107 points, plus 50. Rick Bowness versus Jared Bednar are your head coaches. Lost to the champs in the first round versus lost to the upstart Kraken. They're not in the postseason this year, but that was a memorable Game 7 that Cooper Hopkins and I got to call. We also worked earlier in that series alongside Alec Nava and Ian. So it was a lot of fun to call that one last year. Top defense for the Winnipeg Jets. They're top in goals against the top offense. And playing anywhere versus road woes. So for the Winnipeg Jets, we'll start there. Mark Scheifele, 74 games played, 25 goals, 47 assists, 72 points, plus 19. Kyle Connor, Shelby Township, Michigan native, 65 games played, 34, 27, 61, minus 6. Nikolaj Ehlers, all 82, 25, 36, 61, plus 27. Those are all very good, pretty stacked. But on the Colorado Avalanche side, it gets a little crazy because the points get more than doubled. Nathan MacKinnon played 81 games this year. 51 goals, 89 assists, and 140 points, which set a franchise record for the Avalanche in Nordique's franchise at a plus 35 as well. If you're giving the Art Ross to somebody like Nikita Kucherov, I think you also have to consider Nathan MacKinnon. I understand Kucherov's probably going to win it, but Nathan MacKinnon has been my favorite player for years to watch. And he's having outbreak season after outbreak season. And yeah, it's been fun to watch Nathan MacKinnon. And I don't know if he's going to get another 51 goals next year, maybe even get to 60. Who knows if he gets less assists. But he's been breaking out all the way across the board, and he's been fun to watch. Mikko Rantanen, the Moose, 80 games played, 42, 62, 105, plus 19. Jonathan Drouin, not a bad pickup there for the Avalanche. 79 games played, 19 goals, 37 assists, 56 points, plus 12. And Val Nichushkin, out of the Players Assistance Program, former Dallas Star. He's been really good since joining the Avalanche. 54 games played, 28, 25, 53, plus 5. But that 140 points for MacKinnon and the 105 for Mikko Rantanen stand out. How do you stop those guys? Well, you do so with premium defense and Josh Morrissey. 81 games played, 10 goals, 59 assists, 69 points, plus 34 for the Jets. Top D-man, Dylan DeMelo. Don't sneeze on this guy. 81 games played, 3 goals, 28 assists, 31 points, plus 45 for DeMelo on the top 4 side of their defense. Cale Makar, the NHL 24 cover athlete, 77 games played, 21 goals, 69 assists, and 90 points. He could be a Norris lock again. 15 on the plus minus. And Devon Toews, all 82, 12, 38, 50, plus 28. So elite defenses on both sides, elite offenses on both sides. This Tuesday game will be the Jets and the Avalanche in Game 2, and I will be 100% covering that. I'm looking forward to this series. Splits. Colorado away from home ice and Ball Arena. They're just 19, 16, and 6, and they're starting this series on the road. So read into that what you will. On home ice, they're absolutely dominant in the elevated in Denver. 31, 9, and 1. Winnipeg is 25, 13, and 3 away from the Canada Life Center, and they're 27, 11, and 3 on home ice. They don't care where they play. Rick Bowness' squad has a no-nonsense defensive approach, and they are very good across the board, so you really can't mess with them. Power play, Colorado is 5th at 24.5%. Again, when you have guys like Val Nichushkin, the Moose, Mikko Rantanen, and Cale Makar, who can all drive that bus, they're going to score a ton of goals. And their penalty kill for the Avalanche isn't that bad, because when you have other players like Josh Manson to be able to mix in there with it, they're able to get the job done just outside of 80%, which is 12th out of 32 teams. The Winnipeg Jets, however, specialty teams are a little bit of a rough ride. Again, we talked about you want to be around a little bit above 100% of your power play and penalty kill to be able to do the most damage and be an average unit. And they are just below that because 22%, 22nd on the power play, which is 18.8%, and 21st on the penalty kill, which is 77.1%. That puts you roughly around a 97 percentile there for Winnipeg, so a little bit below average unit in comparison to just a little bit above average for Colorado because of their power play. So specialty teams maybe is where the Winnipeg Jets could be had. They want to keep this 5-on-5. Best on best, though. Here's the thing. The Winnipeg Jets are tied 199 goals against alongside the Florida Panthers for the best in the league. Colorado Avalanche finished with the number one goals for amount at 302. Winnipeg, interestingly, let's keep in mind sometimes this might not mean anything to you. Sometimes it means everything. If you're the Jets, you want to hold out hope to finally be able to get out of the first round and show that for Kevin Shovel-Dayoff's squad that they have everything that they need to. Again, you sign guys like Scheifele and Hellebuck to long-term deals. The Alex Iafallo, Gabe Vigliardi move alongside to get rid of PLD was absolutely terrific. That was the right move. And maybe it also bleeds into this series because Winnipeg swept the Avs 3-0 in the season series, and they've also outscored them 17-4. So nothing has been particularly close in the regular season. This also leads me to believe in this. Does the bottom six of Adam Lowry, Vlad Nemestikov, and Nino Niederreiter, Mason Appleton included, outplay the Colorado group of Ross Colton, Jakob Trenin, Miles Wood, and Zach Parise? You gotta wonder. Because Chris McFarland, the GM, has worked with President of Operations Joe Sakic to address the depth with the Avalanche, because when you're thinking about some other guys like Ryan Johansson, that didn't really fit out. So they've had to kind of move and adjust their bottom six to placate everything else and keep the status quo and the salary cap aligned for the moves and Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar. It's got to be done. That's what happens when you start to get long playoff runs. You start to become a team that's against the cap, although the numbers will be going up over the next several years, which will be good. But that just means that more GMs will spend closer to against the cap. That's just the way it works. So we'll see. If Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic, I think they've done a lot to address the depth, but Winnipeg has done very well in this series, and all of Winnipeg's big moves, alongside getting somebody like Sean Monahan at the deadline, but all their other big moves were at the beginning of it, and they've done a great job. And for those like Cooper Hopkins who thought they might miss the playoffs, and I don't blame him because all the moves were going to be made, I honestly kind of thought that too. I was the one that had thinking of the LA Kings to miss the playoffs. Again, I got that wrong. We'll talk about that capsule in a little bit. But there is a lot to be done here between these two teams. I think they've taken care of it. Now all it is to figure out what's going to happen when they play on Sunday. But before we get into that, let's talk about the goaltending. Connor Hellebuck, the Commerce, Michigan Township native. 60 games played at 37, 19, and 4. 239 goals against, 921 save percentage, and 5 shutouts to Laurent Brossoit. He went from Vegas back to Winnipeg. He was good in the backup role. 23 games played, 15, 5, and 2. A sparkling 2 goals against, 927 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Alexander Georgiev, 63 games played for the Avalanche, 38, 18, and 5, 302 goals against, 897, and a couple shutouts. And Justice Ananen played just 13 games. He closed it out against Edmonton the other night. 7-4-1, 235 goals against, 925 save percentage, and a couple shutouts for Ananen. So, concerns in net in this series? Well, not in the slightest for Winnipeg, but I will say I do have some concerns for Colorado. Again, this probably sounds like it did a couple years ago when the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup when I thought about Darcy Kemper. Well, now I'm thinking about Alex Georgiev because, come on now, 302 goals against, that is subpar. I know he was recognized as a first-half All-Star in the fan vote, and 38, 18, and 5 is a great record, but you can't have an 897 save percentage in the postseason. And Ananen, although he played good in the limited amount of time that he's had, he's very unproven. So I have to believe that it's going to be Alexander Georgiev in net the whole time unless he really gets the wood laid on him, and they have to switch back to Ananen. But that's just me. So Georgiev's going to have to bump those numbers up a little bit. And the Winnipeg Jets, look, they're going to have to go up against the big bad offense of the Colorado Avalanche, but it's a top defense against top offense. It should be a lot of fun to watch. So I am going to be careful of what I think about Georgiev, and I think Jared Bednar is going to have to be too. But those are just my thoughts. Who wins this series? Give some reasons for both. Look, we'll just start with the Winnipeg Jets because I'm leaning toward the Avalanche, but let's just say this. If that top defense shows up well against the Colorado Avalanche, there's enough offense here in Scheifele, Connor, Ehlers, depth in Monahan, Iafallo, Villiardi, that I love their group, and I absolutely think that they can do damage. Hell, I picked them last year in the upset for the Vegas Golden Knights, but it didn't happen. They got the 6 games, but they lost. This is an absolutely, again, a Winnipeg Jets team that I would have no problem picking an upset for because I love their unit. Like the Los Angeles Kings, I think that they're very deep across the board. I think the same thing for the Winnipeg Jets, but you have also a premium on defense and a premium in goal. That is not something that you can shy away from, and that's not something that any teams can go out and say, do we have somebody like Connor Hellebuck, but insert a different name that can go ahead and carry it? No, they really don't. There's only about 6 or 7 of those goaltenders in the entire league, and there's 32 teams, and the Jets have one. The Jets also have an elite defenseman in Josh Morrissey that Rick Bowness turned him into, and that core group of forwards that you're used to that continue to do damage in a very deep team. The only issue for me is this. They're going up against the Colorado Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon is playing out of his mind right now. 140 points in 81 games. Mikko Rantanen over 100 as well. Valeri Nichushkin is a primetime playoff performer. Yes, there's questions to me in that bottom 6, more so for the Avs than for the Jets. I believe in the Jets. The Avs, I still think, are work in progress in that bottom 6. But when you have those veterans like Andrew Cogliano, again, you know him from the Dallas Stars a little bit as well, that still has that speed and can kind of play that grit and sandpaper game, that fits in well. But it's going to be Josh Morrissey against Cale Makar. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. 2 of the best defensemen in the league, and Cale Makar is in a league of his own. If it's not for Bobby or Nick Lidstrom, you got guys like Cale Makar, who's going to be one of the best defensemen in the history of the entire game. So that's going to be fun. But the goaltending matchup heavily to me favors the Winnipeg Jets over the Avalanche. I just don't know if the Jets can take that top end defense, which is number 1 in the league at 199 goals against, and survive that against the Avs. I think that's going to be too close to call. And if I'm leaning one way, I'm leaning for the Avs revenge tour. I know I kind of placated that the same with the Dallas Stars in the previous capsule here. But that's where I go. Because the Colorado Avalanche, they lost in 7 games to the Seattle Kraken. Nathan MacKinnon's playing excellently. That top line's still flowing. They just need Alex Georgiev to get the job done. Look, this is huge right now for the Colorado Avalanche because they're starting the series away. 19, 16, and 6 away from Ball Arena. Still above 500, but that's not 31, 9, and 1. The Avs need to split in Winnipeg at the Canadian Life Center. If the Jets take 2 games, maybe the Avs can bounce back and take the next 2 at Ball Arena and push this into a 7-game series. But this is a must-win for Colorado Avalanche in Game 1 because I'm interested to see what type of Jets team that we're going to find. I really think they're really complete across the board from everything else that they've done, from all the moves that Cheveldayoff made, but you're going up against the best offense in the entire league. I can see this split one way and one way only. And yes, I will give the advantage to guys like Connor Hellebuck in net. But the Avalanche, I think they're going to get into the second round. This could be a fascinating series, and this could go 7. I don't think the Winnipeg Jets are going to get swept aside quickly. I don't think the Avalanche will either. I'm going to lean with Colorado. Hell, I want to see this go 7 games. I might say 6, but why not? Let's have some fun. Give me the Avs in 7. This is going to be a fun series. Would I be disappointed if either one of these teams moved on? No. Would I be expecting either one of these teams to move on? Yes. This one's probably too close to call. I am going to lead with the Avalanche. I'm more comfortable in taking the Dallas Stars. Maybe not the Avalanche over the Jets, but I'm doing it anyway because that offense is just too good, and I feel like they're hungry, and they're going to find a way to get the job done. So Game 1 will be set for Sunday, April 21st, at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. I will just be coming home back then, so I'll be watching that one on the couch, very tired. But let's get into a couple of these other capsules here in just a moment.